Welcome to KDX Bricks Analytics, where I watch all the Lego investing and reselling videos so that you don't have to. I am going off script and I am going to give you my top 5 at the end of this video because I am jumping straight to the 6-month cumulative table for the July 1st to July 15th, 2023 data update. This table is from 217 videos that I watched from January 16th to July 15th, and it's over 1,100 Lego set mentions. The old January 1st to January 15th data has dropped off to make way for the July 1st to July 15th data. With the updates happening on both ends of this 6-month window, there are 151 sets where the data has changed since 2 weeks ago looking at this table, and I'm going to show you all 151 of them. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on specs, things like exclusive minifigures, price, value, shelf life, because I've already discussed most of these sets in previous videos, probably in a little bit more depth than I'm going to in this video. And last thing before we burn and turn is remember the R in front of the set number and name means that according to Brick Fanatics, it is scheduled to retire at the end of this year. First up is a very popular Star Wars set, 75342, the Republic Fighter Tank. It got 2 more mentions in the last 2-week period and it has an E-score of 2.8. It's all about the clone minifigures. I love this set. Next one up is 40539, the Ahsoka Tano Brickheads. 3 more mentions up to 34 with an enthusiasm score of 2.9. Brickset says I have 14 of these. I think I have 14. It might be only 12, but I'm getting as many as I can. Third on the table with 4 more mentions up to 23 is the Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. It has an E-score of 2.7. Everybody loves this set, but in the July Brick Fanatics retirement list update, this set dropped off. And so now we're all thinking that it's going to retire at the end of 2024. So I expect the enthusiasm score to drop. And in fact, even with the 4 mentions, the E-score dropped from 2.9 to 2.7 over the last couple of weeks. The Target exclusive Dark Trooper head. Yes, it's in the helmet series, but it's the Dark Trooper head. And it's set 75343. 2 more mentions up to 23, only an E-score of 2.2. That's because it is ugly and doesn't look like the source material at all. But a lot of people are still banking that the Target exclusive helmets are going to do well and that a lot of Target exclusive sets are going to do well. And there's certainly some history there, but I am not as enthusiastic about this set as some people are. I actually haven't even picked any up yet. If I find a really good discount, I'm sure I will pick some up. Now onto our favorite idea set, as long as it still does retire at the end of this year. It has 19 mentions with an E-score of 2.9 and it's the Medieval Blacksmith. And our second favorite idea set, Winnie the Pooh 21326, and 18 mentions with a 2.6. It did get a jump in E-score over the last 2-week period. Both of those idea sets are fantastic. Now the Inquisitor Transport Scythe, not on sale that much, but it was $70 recently during the Amazon Prime days for just a few hours. 17 mentions with an E-score of 2.8. This set is all about the minifigures, but even when the minifigures drive the value of set, if the ship is great or if the build that goes with it is great, that definitely helps a set out. If it's not, it will drag it a little bit. Not always, but it will drag it a little bit. Sometimes when there are sets with great minifigures, we underappreciate the importance and value of having the build be good too. And in this case, the build is fantastic. I'm a huge fan of this set. Luke Skywalker Red 5 helmet. 3 more mentions up to 17 with an E-score of 2.4. I like this one a lot because of the color and because of the uniqueness compared to the rest of the line. 76989, the Horizon Forbidden West tall neck. It got 6 mentions during the last 2-week period, a plus 0.02 on the E-score up to 2.5. This set is unbelievably good. $90 for over 1,200 pieces. The Alloy, I'm not the best at pronouncing that one, but I think one of those 2 is correct, is a great minifigure, really great minifigure. I think this set is going to do well in retirement. I haven't picked any up yet, and I know they were on sale a couple of times recently, but I'm still watching. I think they will go on sale again before the end of the year. 75292, the Razor Crest. This says fantastic. Mine is right up there. You can't see it. 15 mentions with an E-score of 2.4. Very long shelf life, about 3.5 years, and it is quite expensive. There's really nothing that special about the minifigures, but it is such an iconic ship, and it's one of the best complete and designed and constructed Star Wars ships ships in a while. It's very, very well done, enjoyable to build, and it's very satisfying just because of how good it is compared to the source material. This one though has a lot of investors on the fence. All the praise that I was giving it are the reasons why people want it for investment, but then the very long shelf life and the lackluster minifigures are why some people are staying away from this one for investment. 76911, the 007 Aston Martin DB5 Speed Champions. This set's from the 2022 wave, so it's still at the $20 price point. We've been able to get it cheaper. James Bond is fantastic. I want a bunch of these. I want another James Bond movie to come out, and this set will do very well. It has an E-score of 2.8 with 14 mentions. The Disney Hunter Celebration Brickheads, 14 mentions with an E-score of 2.6, and on Brick Set, it's also saying that it's retiring at the end of this year, so that sounds pretty promising. This set is a big winner in my opinion. And same with this set, the Professors of Hogwarts. Maybe not the Harry Potter characters with the most buzz around them, but in terms of constructing them in Brickheads form, they look great and the prints are great. The detail is great. I am a big fan of this set too. E-score of 2.5. Next up is Battle of Endor Heroes. I'm going to scroll down. Only an E-score of 2.2, but the number of mentions are increasing up to 13. I only have one so far, and the hesitancy is that this set may not retire at the end of the year, even though it's on the Brick Fanatics list, and a lot of people are just saying how would it be possible to have the largest Star Wars Brickheads pack, 5 characters, never been done in the Star Wars line, retire less than a year on the shelves. I certainly am curious about that too, but if it does retire, this set is a massive winner. Another Star Wars Brickheads, the Tusken Raider. I have a couple of them. It's one of the better looking Brickheads in my opinion. We just got to see where the buzz goes and the shelf life. E-score of 2.2. 75309, the Republic Gunship, 13 mentions, an E-score of 2.1. I've talked about this set a lot in my previous videos. I'm sure it'll do okay in retirement, but it's not a set that I like very much. Our first modular building, 10278, the Police Station, an enthusiasm score of 2.5. That score has gradually been creeping up to a very strong position. It has 12 mentions, and it's very popular because only a 3-year shelf life for a modular, which isn't bad. We haven't had modulars retire in a year or two, and it's almost 3,000 pieces at the $200 price point. This one will be a very big winner in my opinion. 75320, the Snowtrooper Battle Pack, only an E-score of 2.1, but another mention up to 11. A lot of people just continue to ride the Battle Pack train. My favorite Star Wars set, probably in the history of Lego. I'm totally biased. I love the music. I love the scene. I love all the minifigures. This set comes with 21 minifigures. Yes, you do have to pay $400, but it's not often you get that many minifigures in a set. This one is not retiring at the end of the year, but it does have an enthusiasm score of 2.8. Back to Speed Champions, another franchise set, and this is the Fast and Furious franchise, and this is the 1970 Dodge Charger, also known as Dom's Charger, an E-score of 2.6. I love this set. 75347, the TIE Bomber, 3 more mentions up to 10 with an enthusiasm score of 2.4. This set has a lot of buzz around it. It was new at the beginning of this year. I'm only iffy on it so far. I'm curious to see how long it'll be on the shelves, and the minifigures aren't overly exciting in my opinion. It hasn't been that heavily discounted yet. If I find it on a really good discount, I'd probably pick some up. All right, the first of the dioramas that we're going to talk about on this list today, and this is my least favorite of the group because it's basically micro scale and everything else is minifigure scale. I don't know how else you do this at anything other than micro scale, but still, it's my least favorite of them all. Only an E-score of 2.2. A Harry Potter set, 12 Grimald Place. It got 3 more mentions in the last 2 weeks, up to 9 with an E-score of 2.3. I think this set is a sleeper. It has 9 minifigures. Almost all of the minifigures are exclusive, and some of them are some pretty unique and desirable characters. And on top of that, the building looks great and the mechanism is great. It is pretty expensive, but if you find it on a pretty good sale, it should do well in retirement. Another licensed Brickheads, 40631, Gandalf the Grey and Balrog, and this set is awesome. Should do very well in retirement, but it is not retiring yet. An E-score of 2 for Boba Fett's Throne Room with 9 mentions. I think it's a fantastic set. The minifigures are great. It is a little spendy, but we've been able to find it on some really, really good discounts. I think it's only going to be so-so in retirement because there have been a lot of people that have been stocking up on the $50 or less purchase price. The long-running Barnes & Noble exclusive Harry Potter set, the first one in this style, Hedwig, and notice that even though it has a very long shelf life, it has an E-score of 2.9. So there are times that a long shelf life will not scare off investors. And on to my favorite diorama, 75330, Dagobah Jedi Training. This set is fantastic. Got to get it on sale. E-score of 2.5. The Eve and Wally Brickheads, 2 mentions the last couple weeks, up to 8 with an E-score of 2.8. 2.4. This set should be gangbusters in retirement. A lot of reports never on the shelves in their Lego stores. The next modular building, 10270, the bookshop, an E-score of 2.4. The modulars historically do very well. The new Ninjago City Market, 71799. These Ninjago City sets are always great bang for the buck, but I am hesitant about this one doing well in retirement. Now that it's the fourth installment in this line, people are onto the fact that the first couple are doing really well in the aftermarket, but it's a big set. Another Brickheads, Woody and Bo Peep, 7 mentions with an E-score of 2.1. It's a really adorable set. I think it'll do okay in retirement. Speed Champion 76906, the 1970 Ferrari 512M. This is one of the best, if not the best, 8-stud wide Speed Champion set that Lego has produced. We were all very excited about it, but then it fell off of the retirement list. I think it's been about 3 months now, so only an E-score of 2. Chippendale Brickheads, E-score of 1.9. All these classic Disney Brickhead sets I think will do decent. I'm not that tuned into them, but I think they'll do decent. I plan on picking up a couple of each of them. Here's a Brickheads that will not do well in retirement, and that's just because it's been around for a long time and everybody has bought it at a super cheap price. Only an E-score of 1.9. A 1.4 E-score for this X-Wing fighter. Lego makes a new X-Wing every chunk of years, so I think that we are flooding the market with X-Wings, and how do we know that if one is special compared to the other? I think the appeal to buy them in the secondary market has worn off. 76411, the Ravenclaw House Banner, and the next up is going to be the Hufflepuff House Banner. Both of them have 6 mentions with an E-score of 2.8. I'm very high on these sets, but I haven't bought any yet because I'm still kind of watching for sales, just gauging the buzz, and I kind of want to wait until right before they retire to see what best I can do. Here's the Hufflepuff House Banner. Emperor's Throne Room, one of 2 from the second wave of the Star Wars dioramas. $100, super expensive. The minifigures are awesome, and the design and the construction of the set is fantastic. Get it on sale, but it should do well in retirement. E-score of 2.5. And then a Micro Fighter, $10. Boba Fett Starship. It's cool. I like it because the minifigure can actually go inside the Micro Fighter, so I think it'll do pretty well in terms of return on investment, but it's not really worth it at the $10 price point in my opinion. But it does have an E-score of 2.5.
Oh, and don't forget, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else.
The ATTE Walker, 6 mentions, but down to an E-score of 2.3. This set had so much buzz when it came out because of the Commander Cody minifigure, but at $140 for under 1,100 pieces, it seems to have worn off a little bit, but still there's a lot of minifigures in this set. We'll see when it gets closer to retirement. The Marvel Venom Head, 6 mentions with an E-score of 2.3, not one that I'm going to get. The new 40650 Small Land Rover Classic Defender, 6 mentions with an E-score of 2.2. It really could have been a Speed Champions set, but instead it's a creator, and I think this one will do well. There's some people that are gonna load up on bunches of these. I like it a fair amount. I've already got a couple, I think. And now on to this Sonic set, the Green Hill Zone. I've been pretty down on this set, and I continue to be pretty down on it. It has an E-score of 2.2 with 6 mentions, but it only has 1 minifigure, and I don't like the build that much, and I don't like how it's very open in the back. It's not much of a diorama because you can see a lot through it, but with the new wave of Sonic play sets, a number of folks are saying this one probably will do pretty well in retirement, but I'm just not seeing it yet. Thor's Hammer has an E-score of 2. It did get 2 mentions in the last 2 weeks, and if you can get this one on sale, I think it could do pretty well. Maybe a little bit of a sleeper depending on the price that you get it. Brickhead, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Darth Vader. Not much buzz around this set, and I agree. It just has an E-score of 2. It'll probably be on the shelves for a pretty long time. Harry Potter Brickheads, Harry, Hermione, Ron, and Hagrid. This is probably the least popular of the Harry Potter Brickheads in a while, and only an E-score of 1.8. It's just a little plain, honestly. I agree. And I think the Hagrid and Harry characters they've done in Brickheads form in the past were better anyways. Another Lord of the Rings Brickhead, only an E-score of 1.8. It just dropped down from 2 to 1.8. It does have 6 mentions. I'm surprised. I think this one will actually do well in retirement, but I guess maybe the enthusiasm is low because it came out at the beginning of this year and doesn't have a retirement date. A 1.7 E-score for Daisy Duck. And then the most recent ATST, the Hoth one, E-score of 1.2. I am completely passing on this set. Here are the other 2 house banners, Gryffindor and Slytherin. Both of them have E-score E-scores of 3, but one less mention than the other two at 5. And the Boba Fett mech, the new set coming out very soon, 75369. This set is awesome. I will actually click on another picture here for a second. This minifigure is fantastic. I would like to get a bunch of these, assuming that we can get them at probably 30% off sometime. I know the mechs are not everybody's favorite. This one is great. 40649, the upscaled Lego minifigure. This is not my favorite set at all. It is $50. Yes, 654 pieces, but I think a lot of them are kind of smallish and kind of plain. And then overall, the build, yes, it looks a lot like a minifigure, but for me, it does have a lot of the nostalgia, but I can just go look at a small regular size minifigure for a lot less the price and get the nostalgia and not take up space on my shelves to put this thing up. And it just doesn't look that great to look at for me. Some people are saying it's going to do quite well. I'm going to watch it closely. It does have an E-score of 2.8 with 5 mentions, but I personally don't want to build one myself. New 501st Clone Troopers battle pack. It looks fantastic. Another battle pack. Historically, they do well. It's up to an E-score of 2.6 with 5 mentions. And the last of the modular buildings that are scheduled to retire at the end of this year, Assembly Square. People are still excited about this one because it's the 10-year commemorative. It's larger than the others. It is a pretty good price at $300 for 4,000 pieces. Has an E-score of 2.4, but it's been on the shelf since 2017. Hogwarts Polyjuice Potion Mistake, an E-score of 2.4 with 5 mentions. It's great, but it's everywhere. Speed Champions 76910, the Aston Martin 2-pack, and I like this one pretty well. Some people are kind of down on it. I think it looks pretty good. And the second of the new wave of Star Wars diorama, the Endor Speeder Chase, and this is so good. Again, get it on sale. E-score of 2.4, but it is so good. The NASA Apollo 11 lunar lander, only an E-score of 2.4, not bad, and it did jump from 2.1 to 2.4, but I think this one's a little bit of a sleeper, and I think it'll do very well in retirement. Another Disney licensed Brickheads, Goofy and Pluto, with an E-score of 2.2. The new Pac-Man arcade has an E-score of 1.8. I really don't know. We've got this and the NES and Atari. Who knows how desirable these are going to be in the future. It's not one that I am looking at. Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, and Louie Brickhead. This one is just too plain also, so I'm going to pass on this one. It only has an E-score of 1.6. The Stormtrooper mech, 5 mentions with an E-score of 1.6. It's okay. One of my favorite sets to look at, the Dark Trooper Attack, 5 mentions with an E-score of 1.6, but I think you have to get it on a huge discount to have any chance in retirement, but it's still a super cool set. I did like the scene a lot, so I'm a little bit biased. The Disney Celebration Train, it's a pretty new set. It has an E-score of 2.8. This set is amazing, assuming that the shelf life is reasonable. Look at all that included in this set for $40 and all the minifigures. I'm a big fan. The Up House, also 4 mentions with an E-score of 2.8. Another great set. The T-Rex Breakout, the Jurassic Park diorama, has an E-score of 2.5 with 4 mentions. You've already heard me say it. I love the diorama sets, so I'm big on this one. The Donald Duck Brickheads, an E-score of 2.3 with 4 mentions. The Millennium Falcon 75257 has 4 mentions, only an E-score of 2. Lego's made a bunch of Millennium Falcons. I am passing on this one. The Lotus Via Speed Champions. It's a decent set. Probably not one of my favorite, but I do like the fact that it's green. We don't get a lot of green Speed Champion sets. It did fall off the retirement list not too long ago. The first of the botanical sets that are expected to retire. This one has an E-score of 2 with 4 mentions. It's been hugely discounted. I am passing for investment. Same thing on this one as with the Millennium Falcon. I'm passing it. It has an E-score of 2 with 4 mentions. The AT-AT. This train station is fantastic. Probably not going to do well in retirement, but there's a lot going on in this set for $100, and it goes well with the new roadway plate system. I like it, but not for investment. It had an E-score of 1.8. This BD1 has an E-score of 1.5 with 4 mentions. I'm passing on it. And now to the Darth Vader mech. Okay, I was okay to pretty good with the mechs until I saw this one. This is just a travesty. Darth Vader stands alone. He does not need a mech. Lego never should have done this. Has an E-score of 1.5. The Tulips, E-score of 1.5 with 4 mentions. Same thing with the next few sets. Jake Sully and his Avatar Brickheads. The Hogwarts Magical Trunk. This set is junk. I'm not sure who it was designed for, but it should never have been released in my opinion. The Child has an E-score of 1.3 with 4 mentions. The Tuk Tuk looks good, but it's just too low of a price point to make it worth it. An E-score of 1.3 with 4 mentions. And now we're down to the group that has 3 mentions, and top of the list is the new LG Eldorado Fortress 10320. This set is a big winner. Again, assuming that it doesn't have some crazy shelf life, but this set is really good. I am going to watch this one closely, and I am very excited to invest in it at the right time. And same thing with this set, the Home Alone set. It's a movie that gets watched every Christmas. It could end up having a pretty long shelf life, but right now, 3 mentions with an E-score of 2.7. 3 mentions and 2.7 for this Rivendell set. This set is just gorgeous. I don't know when, if, or what I'm going to get it or build it or invest in it, but someday I would like to have my hands on it because it is gorgeous. I just don't know where I would put it. It takes up way too much space. The soon coming out Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack, an E-score of 2.7 with 3 mentions. Super cool that it comes with a Swamp Speeder. The Venom figure, I don't understand how it's an E-score of 2.7, but I am passing on these superheroes brick built action figures. And the Hocus Pocus Sanderson Sisters Cottage. This set is also great. It gives us blacksmith vibes. It gives us old fishing shop, I think that's what it was called, vibes. That idea set that is very expensive now to get on the secondary market. Assuming that it has a reasonable shelf life, it will do very well. The Creator 3-in-1 Exotic Parrot with an E-score of 2.3 and 3 mentions. The Guardian Ship, same score. And same score with this one, the Great Wave. But this one I definitely have my eye on. We'll see how the buzz goes up until it retires, but this set looks amazing. I'm not into most of the Lego art sets, but the ones that have some depth and texture to them, I think could be very, very popular in retirement for many years to come. Scrolling down on the table to the Ministry of Magic, 3 mentions with an E-score of 2. This Creator 3-in-1 actually looks pretty good. If you can get it on a huge discount, it's been down to $84 recently. I think it could do okay in retirement. It's the Viking Ship and Midgard Serpent, E-score of 2 with 3 mentions. The Icons Pickup Truck, this is a pass for me, E-score of 1.7 with 3 mentions. 75325, the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter. Pretty cool set, but very expensive, and I think it's just going to be kind of forgotten, which is surprising being that it's Mandalorian. It only has an E-score of 1.7 with 3 mentions. And then 10273, the Haunted House, same score. It looks okay. The Hogwarts Astronomy Tower, E-score of 1.7 with 3 mentions. One of the better looking buildings that has been constructed by Lego. Sunken Treasure Mission, 1.3 with 3 mentions, and the Friends Apartment, 1.3 with 3 mentions. All right, now we're down to sets that only have 2 mentions or 1 mention on this table. For the most part, either they're sets that are not very popular for investment, sets that I'm probably not looking at, or they're very new sets that are just starting to get their mentions, like this one, the Ghost and Phantom 2, which hasn't come out yet, but it has an E-score of 3 with 2 mentions already. Super cool set. I want to see a little bit more about it, but the minifigures are great. And this A-frame cabin is awesome. What a great set. It goes very well with the treehouse, and we all loved the treehouse until it stayed on the shelves forever. And then Rapunzel's Tower, not a set that I am looking closely at. The next block of sets have 2 mentions with an E-score of 2.5. The Jeep Wrangler, this is a good set. I think a very long hold time, but could do okay in retirement. The Speed Champions Toyota Supra, I like this set a lot. The Nano Gauntlet, I'm going to pass on that one. And then the Lamborghini Countach, love this set, super cool. 71774, Lloyd's Golden Ultra Dragon, I'm gonna pass on this set. It is too washed out for me with all of that gold. The Darth Vader helmet, surprising how little buzz this set gets considering how popular the helmets are. And now the next chunk of sets have 2 mentions with an E-score of 2. The large Batmobile Tumbler, the Lion Knight's Castle. This set is awesome. It's always hard to gauge the very, very expensive sets. We don't have a lot of comparables from the past to really go off of, but I think this one has to do pretty well in retirement. I mean, heck, if you buy one at $400 and sell it for $600, that's a darn good profit on one unit, but it is an amazing set. The latest of the modular buildings, the Jazz Club, just standard modular buildings typically do well. This one looks fantastic. Star-Lord's helmet, the least interesting of the Speed Champion sets that are out right now, this Mercedes 2-pack, and then this Creator Expert, now Icons Ford Mustang brick-built vehicle. I think these are really, really well done and very appealing, and there's very little buzz, probably flying under the radar to some degree. I think they have to do okay, but after a pretty long hold time. And the next long list of sets have 2 mentions with an E-score of 1.5. The Mandalorian helmet, the Skeletor Christmas wreath 2-in-1. It is so thin in width of the ring, and then it's so thin in the foliage on that ring. This set just looks terrible in my opinion. This set's kind of cool, the mini Disney Haunted Mansion. I'll be curious to see how many more they make in the series. They're up to 3. They could be a pretty good collectible. The Lunar Space Station set, the Hogwarts Carriage and Thestrals. Not a set that I am going to invest in, but it does have some uniqueness with the large and small Thestral in the set. The Buzz Lightyear spaceship, Fender Stratocaster. Another Christmas set with 2 mentions and an E-score of 1.5 is this Santa's Sleigh. We all call it the Reindeer Battle Pack. It's okay. Everyone is awesome. And then the last of this chunk with these scores is the City of Lanterns. I've talked about this one a lot in the past. It is a super cool set. And now everything else on this list has 1 mention, and the E-scores range from 3 down to 1. I'm not going to say each enthusiasm score, just follow along on the table. Indiana Jones Escape from the Lost Tomb, a very new set. A lot of the sets from the new wave of Indiana Jones are actually pretty good price point. This one is $40 for the 600 pieces and for, I think, all 4 unique minifigures. I'm intrigued by the Indiana Jones sets that just came out. The Creator 3-in-1 Birdhouse, the Speed Champions Pagani Utopia. This one looks so cool. I love this set. The Technic Ducati Motorcycle, Hogwarts Hospital Wing, Hogwarts Serious Rescue. This set is junk in my opinion. A Small Box of Flowers, the Daffodils, the Technic BMW, really cool looking. The Technic John Deere Tractor, the Disney Villain Icons that just came out last month. It's interesting. I honestly don't know what to think about it yet. I need to spend some more time looking at it and absorbing it. And same thing with this set. On the surface, this one is pretty cool. The tribute seems to be pretty well done. The minifigures and the tape are pretty neat. And I do remember saying that when they came out with the large Mickey and Minnie brick built figures that were really creepy looking, they had a little tripod camera, and I was like, man, that by far is the best part of that set. And I think a lot of people were saying the same thing. So kind of cool that they made a larger scale camera. I'm intrigued by this one. A City Tractor, an Arctic Explorer Snowmobile, the Infinity Gauntlet, Wolverine's Claws. Pretty good compared to the source material, but I don't like it, and I really like Wolverine. The Batcave Shadow Box, $400, but this set is crazy unique and crazy good in my opinion. Probably not great for investment, but it's so unique that I am intrigued and will at least keep an eye on it. Maybe it will go way on sale at some point. The 4+ Barn and Farm Animals with a bunch of animals and their baby animals. This set is adorable, but it is crazy expensive at $70, but I was lucky and picked up a few from Target at $35 not too long ago, and I felt like that was worth it. The Monkey Kid Heavenly Realms, very short shelf life, and it is just a beautiful looking set right up until you see all of the holes and the Technic beams there, which is really annoying. Actually, they look like Technic platforms almost, but everything else looks amazing. The crazy large and expensive AT-AT. I am passing on this set. It is just too much of everything. Brickhead's Lion Dance Guy, and then a set that is going to have a very short shelf life apparently. This nice little modern day family house and the electric car. I like this set a lot. I might actually dabble in getting a few of these. Zane's Titan Mech, even though the knees work on it, I still am not interested. The very large Diagon Alley. It is a very cool set, but going to be on the shelves for way too long. The Batman art set, I am passing. Valentine Lovebirds. And then lastly on the table that got to change is Rocket Mech Armor. All right, now time to wrap up with my top 5. In 5th place is the Inquisitor Transport Scythe. It has 17 mentions with an E-score of 2.8. Pretty good price point at $100. It will be a pretty short shelf life. Obviously, the minifigures are a major selling point. They look fantastic, all 4 of them, but also the ship looks really good. And it seems to be a little bit low on buzz for what I would think it would be. So I'm very high on this set. In 4th place is the Ideas Winnie the Pooh. All of the minifigures are exclusive. It's a really solid build. It all comes together. It looks great from all sides. A lot of nice interior detail. It's just so charming. The source material Winnie the Pooh goes back many many decades and will continue on for many decades. And I think this set just is going to do well for many years into the future. My third place set is the 007 Aston Martin James Bond Speed Champions vehicle with the Daniel Craig minifigure. I don't think you could have done much better on this set, and it is a hugely popular licensed movie series that's been around for a long time, so I am all in on this set. And in my second place slot is the Medieval Blacksmith with 19 mentions and an E-score of 2.6 on the table. Not a bad price at what was $150, now $180. Still can get it on sale from time to time. Since it's going to be less than a 3-year shelf life, it can't lose. Look at it. It is just so well done. Winning set all the time that people want to build, look at, display, show off for many, many years to come. And in first place, I did not get too creative, but this set is going to kill it. You know, we just know that it's going to be an amazing set, and that is the Republic Fighter Tank. It is the top of the list with 37 mentions and an enthusiasm score of 2.8. You get all of this for $40. And yes, it's listed as 6 minifigures. Of course, we don't care about the battle droids, but the other 4 minifigures are fantastic, including the Mace Windu with the arm printing, which looks great. And I love the purple detail on these clone troopers. And then the tank itself is a good build and it looks good. Very playable, very displayable, just over a 1.5 year shelf life. So that's why everybody, and myself included, is very excited about this set. All right, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I had fun recording this video. That's a wrap on this one, and I'll see you in the next one.